I mean, if we don't get Sergey Kovalev versus Adonis Stevenson in 2016, they're saying that they're in negotiations for it to happen in April. But here's the thing. For it to happen, either Adonis Stevenson has to fight on HBO, which would be the return of an Al Haymon fighter, a high-profile Al Haymon fighter on HBO, which they're saying they wanted to be on HBO pay-per-view, meaning Sergey Kovalev's side saying they wanted to be on HBO pay-per-view. Or Sergey Kovalev would have to fight on PBC or Showtime. You know, now when it comes to the network situation, that's the biggest reason why these two fighters aren't fighting, because Sergey Kovalev is tied to HBO. Adonis Stevenson fights on PBC or Showtime, and he's an Al Haymon fighter. Al Haymon fighters don't fight on HBO. So unless something changes, it's hard for me to see that fight actually happening. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live, and that's the reason why we get bullshit rematches like this with Sergey Kovalev taking on Jean Pascal in the second fight. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna stay up on a Saturday night, and I'm gonna watch this fight. And the only thing that's gonna be crossing my mind is he already got beat up and knocked out before, so what's the point of this fight? He already got beat up and knocked out, and I'm thinking, what's the point of this fight? And then when he fought Unification Gonzalez, meaning Jean Pascal, he should have lost that fight. He should have rematched him, or Kovalev should have fought Unification Gonzalez next. So I'm thinking, this is a fight where it's happening in Canada, right? Yeah. Jean Pascal sells in Canada. Sergey Kovalev needs to fight an opponent that sells, so main event can keep paying him. And also, they needed it to be a fight that HBO would broadcast. Now, it was very close to being him versus Artur Beterbiev, meaning Sergey Kovalev, but Beterbiev got hurt, which that would have been a magnificent fight. But now we got this fight where they're really hyping it up and selling it. Well, Jean Pascal is trying to say that Sergey Kovalev is a racist, and Sergey Kovalev, you know, still calling out Adonis Stevenson. It's just a fight that's just really filling time. You get what I'm saying? It's a fight where majority of us, I don't know nobody who's going for Jean Pascal in a rematch. You know, I don't know how Jean Pascal can win a rematch. Yeah, he was doing some good counters and everything like that in the first fight. But outside of that, what did he bring to the table? Sergey Kovalev was the better boxer in the first fight, the harder puncher. Hell, he won the fight. He won by TKO. He won by stoppage. And it looked like at one point in time, if the ref would have allowed the fight to continue, Sergey Kovalev was going to beat the dog shit out of him, probably kill him. You know, I mean, I'm guessing this is what we get because Sergey Kovalev doesn't have too many opponents that he can fight. All the big name light heavyweights are under the Al Haymon banner, or if not under Al Haymon, under Matchroom. And when you look at fights that I would love to see a Sergey Kovalev fight, I'm just reading off some names from Farah. Hell, give me a Jurgen Breimer. Give me a Chad Dawson, a Chavez Jr. And don't get me to start naming guys at 168 pounds that I would love to see, and fight guys that will possibly move up. But majority of those guys aren't the Haymon too. I mean, give me a Sergey Kovalev versus a Saki Obika. Give me something like that. I'm not saying that the fight would be big among fans, especially since Saki Obika got beat up by Adonis Stevenson, but still it would be a fresh infusion of names. This is a rematch where it's just like almost like their backs are against the ropes. They have no opponents to choose, so they had to find an opponent that will be able to sell that they fought before in Jean Pascal. You know, so it is what it is. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. It's a shame that, you know, we don't even know if the unification bout between Sergey Kovalev and Adonis Stevenson. Now, let's not get it confused. Sergey Kovalev is the IBF, WBO, and WBA champion at light heavyweight. And Adonis Stevenson has the other belt, which is the WBC. He doesn't have the ring anymore because the Ring magazine stripped him. But the point I'm trying to make is these are two fighters that are the closest to being an undisputed champion. And it's taken so long for this fight to happen. And then I'm not confident that it can happen next, because I'm thinking that Al Haymon is going to say, well, if you want the fight to happen, it's got to happen on PBC, on Showtime. I don't know if he's going to allow Adonis Stevenson to come back to HBO. I don't even think Adonis Stevenson really wants to fight. He wants to keep fighting guys like Carpincy to keep making a check. So, you know, and then when it came to a time when the fight could have actually happened, the WBC did something that they never do. They allowed for there to be a purse bid between Adonis Stevenson and Sergey Kovalev. And Sergey Kovalev dropped out of the purse bait because Al Haymon would have likely won, and Sergey Kovalev would have ended up fighting on BBC or Showtime, hence breaking his HBO contract. It's just like, when you look at the politics of the situation, it's just like, man, this shit is really holding back boxing and holding back us getting the best fights, because promoters or whatever are getting their fighters signed to these networks, and the networks are saying, no, you can't fight him because he's not on our network. We're the one putting the money into your career. It's whack. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Of course, I'm going to be watching the fight, but will I enjoy it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Jean Pascal can do anything different than he did in the first fight. I don't know. Please subscribe.